Switching to Queensland now, and it's a nervous time for essential workers with the so-called bubble under review after Byron Bay, Tweed and Kempsey are entering a lockdown in a few hours. Here was the Queensland Premier.
The concern is, of course, if there are cases in northern New South Wales, that would present a real risk to the southern parts of the Gold Coast, where I have thousands of families holidaying on the Gold Coast at the moment.
Let's go live to our Queensland editor, Peter Gleeson, on this story. Gleeson, it's been one of those issues that has been on again, off again in terms of travel across. What's the latest?
Well, it's very polarising, isn't it, Kieran? Yeah, from 1 a.m. tomorrow, people in Byron Bay and the Tweed area, unless they are essential workers, unless they can prove that they are coming to Queensland for exactly that, the essential nature of what they do, they will be banned from coming into Queensland. This is another example. Just 8 days after the border bubble was lifted, you now have a situation where we're back to square one. And of course, we saw that man on September 18 to 20 in and around that Byron Bay-Tweed area. As Kenny Heatley just said, there was a number of examples of where that particular person was out and about within the community. So there is genuine concern in Queensland. And of course, what that means for those people in northern New South Wales is that you cannot, repeat, cannot come into Queensland unless you have that essential services pass.
Now, when you look at the situation in Melbourne from where you are, your vantage point, Gleeson, I'm just interested to get your thoughts, because obviously it's a very different scenario, COVID-free, life as normal. When you look at what you're seeing on the Westgate Freeway and the Westgate Bridge as we speak this afternoon, brought to a standstill, the civil unrest of the last few days, what's your take on it?
Well, it's extraordinary scenes, I must say, Kieran. And of course, we're having this debate in Queensland at the moment, and of course you've been across it entirely, and that is, OK, what's going to happen when Queensland gets to an 80% vaccination rate? Now, on the current Doherty modelling, that will be December 5. Now, I can tell you now, Kieran, that there is absolutely no way that the Queensland Premier is going to open up Queensland to anyone from New South Wales or Victoria, unless it's an essential, they have that essential service status. Because right now, they know that Queenslanders are firmly behind that particular border closure. They know that Queenslanders want their liberty, they want their freedom, and they want to feel safe. And when you think about Anastasia Palaszczuk and how she was elected in October last year, she was elected pretty well. It was a referendum on "We kept you safe." The other part of this equation, Kieran, is that the hospital system in Queensland is currently under enormous stress. There is ramping at least 8 southeast Queensland hospitals, which means that AMBOs are bringing in too many patients into emergency and they can't cope. So there is a suggestion that the health system would be under enormous stress. So I think the whole issue around whether it's 80%, whether it's 85%, whether it's 90% is a moot point. At the moment, Fortress Queensland is well and truly Fortress Queensland, and I can tell you now there will have to be an absolutely compelling case for the Queensland Premier to open that border anytime soon.